those of you in the sanctuary and those of you on the live stream who can hear us, we're good. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna start in a few minutes because we're also have the great invitation of some of our good friends from a Michigan congregation who are gonna actually join us for Oneg afterwards. And so there's apparently a very good lineup of cars still waiting to come into the synagogue. So we're gonna wait another minute or two. So it's a good problem to have. It's like in the old days of the shtetl, when the cars lined up, when all the wagons lined up. So we're just gonna start services in about 2 or 3 minutes. We didn't forget to start. So those of you in the live stream, if you can hear me, we're gonna start soon too. Okay, as you were. Shabbat Shalom. We are just slightly delaying our starts because we are sharing Shabbats with a congregation from Michigan, and they are also entering here into the synagogue, and so that's why we're in a slight delay to make sure that everyone gets in like they're supposed to. So 2 more minutes, we're going to start. For real, 2 more minutes, for real. An actual 2 minutes. An actual 2 minutes. Kendra Munchnick is playing a lot on the keyboard now, so I know. We're going to start momentarily, I promise. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hello.
Shabbat Shalom.
Now officially Shabbat Shalom. Officially. It's so nice to see you all on this wonderful Erev Shabbat in the midst of Florida winter. Everyone with their parkas on. I spoke to my friend this afternoon who lives in Bloomington, Indiana, and she said it was snowing. And I said, it's 79. And you know what she did?
Yes.
You know what she did?
I do.
What?
She hung up on you.
She hung up. She hung up on me. Yes, she hung up. So, yeah. But it was still snowing, I bet, there, and it's not here, so it's awesome. So nice. Very nice. So I hope you had a lovely week, and I hope that you are prepared to let go of that week. Breathe out that week. Exhale that week. And enter into our space of Shabbat, our 25 hours of what the rabbis deemed 1/60th of paradise. That 25 hours are 1/60th of what the Garden of Eden might have been. So I hope that we can spend the next 25 hours draped in that, saturated in that, and appreciate Shabbat with our family and our friends. We are going to shortly begin our service officially, but if you don't know us, if you're here in the sanctuary on the live stream, that's Cantor Muchnick over there. I'm Rabbi Keller over here. Hello on our live stream. It should be working. We're thrilled that you're joining us as well. Both in the room and in virtual land, you can follow along with our service. So make sure you have our prayer book. The prayer book is right underneath your seat. All you have to do is reach underneath your seat. It should be a book right there. If there isn't one right there, there should be one right to the left of you or right to the right of you. But there should be a book. Please make sure that the cover says Shabbat on it, not weekday and festival. In fact, I say this every week, and yesterday I reached for a book, and it was a weekday festival book in the sanctuary. So please make sure that it says Shabbat on the front of the book. Also, those of you in our live stream can join us, cbiboca.org, cbiboca.org, hit menu, then hit services, and scroll down a little bit, and then you'll be able to press a button that says virtual prayer book, and you can chant along and pray along and be with us throughout the whole service. We're going to be lighting Shabbat candles now, which is on page 2 in your Siddur. Page 2. Page 2 in your Siddur, and the actual Siddur or in the virtual Siddur. And since tomorrow at 10 a.m., we will have a chance to celebrate with the Hill family as Louis becomes bar mitzvah. We're going to invite up the Louis family crew up here. Hello, Hills. Hello. Shabbat Shalom. To do our candles for lighting our Shabbat lighting candles, light candles for Shabbat, and also for Kiddush. So that'll be on page 2 and then on page 5. So we're going to begin again on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we be, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Amen. Now that our candles are lit, we can, like I mentioned, officially be in the presence of Shabbat, and we can sweeten these moments, sweeten this time with the words of Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Now I do.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh, Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava u'v'ratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Now that our Shabbat is in our midst and has been sweetened, we are going to continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, with bringing in the sense and the feeling of the Shabbat bride that spends this time with us. We'll continue with words of Yedid Nefesh, which big page jump can be found on page 332. 332. continue now with Kabbalat Shabbat with Psalm 98. You can turn the pages all the way back to the more front section of your Siddur. We continue now on page 16. 16. We're going to transition now from Kabbalat Shabbat into the more central section of our service this evening. And to help us transition is the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בהולמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לא מהמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעולמה ואמרו Amen.
Our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, page 28, and together we stand.
Baruch Adonai, המבורך לעולם.
let's turn to page 30 and read the English at the bottom of that page together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Is your name. Ever living God, you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue now on page 32. Let's read that English together as well. Everlasting God, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove you from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. 34-35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue now on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emetz. We continue on the top of page 39. Let's read that paragraph together. Standing on the parted shores of this history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. There's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together, Micha Mocha, on page 40.
מי כמוך באלים
people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me, God, and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth. On the seventh day, God ceased from work and was refreshed. Vayinafash, a great beautiful word, vayinafash, which has the word nefesh in it, or soul in it, as if our soul gets refreshed every time we get to Shabbat. And we continue now with Vishamru on page 44. Continue now with the Amidah on page 46, and together we stand.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekone Hakol, V'zocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot, Umevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav leHoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morin HaGashem, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, מתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We take some time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, and meditations, beginning here on page 52 through page 62. When you're finished, please be seated.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav. Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Alva. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Alcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav.
How many people have ever thrown a party of any kind in their house or for a community or really? 6 of you have thrown a party? All right, thank you. Thank you for raising your hands. I know it was tough to put your hand up that high, but it wasn't a complicated question. Thank you. So it's like, oh, only 6 people. So yes. So the preparation is nice. You clean stuff. You hide stuff in all the corners, and then the place is all set, and everything is really nice. And then when it's over, by the way, you have to clean everything. Everything goes back into place. The tables move. The vacuuming. The moving. All the trash is everywhere. Or if you've even celebrated and put together a party, not at your place, it's just like the sort of the. Of it, sort of the end of it, and the sort of change of the serious nature back to regular life after the party. I kind of feel like that happened in the last 2 weeks in the Torah. Last week we got the 10 Commandments. Woo! Big lightning, big stuff, 10 Commandments, really big deal. Israelites were excited, all 10 of them. I can tell you're excited by this, by the way. All of you have these great emotions on your faces, also going, woo, with me. So thank you. So there's this great, and then we get to this week. And this week, by the way, is what happens after the party. We go from Yitro last week, and we come into Mishpatim this week. And so I wanted to just mention the word mishpatim to you. So I mentioned it in the Shabbat message. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow at services in our service and Torah study at 8:30. But the word mishpat also Louis is going to mention it tomorrow, right, Louis? Yes. It's good. I'm glad you nodded your head. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble because you're mentioning it tomorrow. I know you are, actually. So good. And so the difference between a mishpat and a chok, they're 2 different laws. So the word mishpat means law, and the word chok. Everyone say chok. Good. We'll work on it. And so they both mean laws. The word chok, though, is a because I said so, law. It's sort of like, you recall this, an adult figure either saying to you or you saying to a younger person, oh, because I said so, right? There is dialogue that can be had when there are mishpatim, meaning there are laws that are malleable and chattable, but sometimes they're just like, just because I said so. So those are the chukim, and there are Torah portions that actually connect to that, but this week is not those. This week are the more malleable laws. And I have some for us to talk about. And I want to ask you directly from the Torah. Here's one. Everything's in he, I'm sorry. He who fatally strikes a man shall be put to death. How about that start? So how do we feel about that one? It says, he who fatally strikes a man shall be put to death. What do we think? I think I'd like to be a woman. Okay. Cantor Mashnik said he'd like to be a woman. He can avoid that one. That's what Cantor Mashnik said. So this is one of the chukim. So this is a law, by the way, that talks about this idea of some kind of a capital punishment, right? So this starts to bring into the conversation of like, what does that mean? And by the way, this is why it's not, and I told you so, it's a law that we can discuss, because some people might not like this, might not like the outcome. That if someone fatally strikes someone, maybe they don't get to be dead, right? That's it's a whole conversation, which we are not going to discuss right now, by the way, at services. But I wanted us to bring that to your attention. Here's another one, by the way. Some of you might like this one. He who insults his father or his mother shall be put to death. How about that one? Now, reflect on that, by the way, for the children that you have and for the child that you are. So go backwards and forwards. And by the way, these are laws, again, that are discussable, because it says insults. So we can play on the word. What does insult mean? Right? Because, and what does this seem like does that seem fair to you? If you insult your parents, then you should die. Right? So does that seem like a fair, some of you are nodding your heads, yes. So we're going to talk after. We're going to chat after. But this is what a chok is. Here is a very famous one, by the way. This one says, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot, burn for a burn, wound for a wound, bruise for a bruise. How do we like that one? Now, by the way, I will say, if you've ever watched Fiddler on the Roof, Tevye responds to this one, and he says, by the way, if we did this, the whole world would be blind and toothless. That's what he says in Fiddler on the Roof. But I invite you to think about why this law is in here. So again, last week, fireworks of the Ten Commandments. This week, we discuss what that really looks like. How does that translate into regular, normal life? So do we like eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot, burn for a burn, wound for a wound, bruise for a bruise? Do we not like that one? So if you bruise me, I get to bruise you back. If you, by mistake, you knock my teeth out, I get to knock your teeth out. I asked the religious school this question, by the way, on Sunday. Some of them were in favor of these, by the way, particularly for their siblings. So if they got their tooth knocked out, they'd be like, ooh, I get to knock Joey's tooth out. This is going to be a really good day. Here's another one. And you'll see where this is going. It says when an axe, I'll read this so it's in English. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned and its flesh shall not be eaten. But the owner of the ox is not to be punished. Okay? So what does goring mean? Who wants to define goring for me? For everyone. What is goring? Everyone's doing this, by the way, with your hand. Everyone's doing the same thing with their hand. What does goring mean? Someone's doing this now. Thank you in the back. Who wants to use an English word out loud and say what goring is? What does to gore mean? Yeah, to strike you with to kind of come at you. Yeah. So, you want to demonstrate, Cantor Muchnick? No. All right, great. So it says, when an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox is not punished. If, however, that ox has been in the habit of goring, and its owner, though warned, has failed to guard it, and kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall be put to death. That doesn't, that makes sense over there. So now you're saying if the second offense of the ox goes in the neighborhood, enters the neighborhood, and by the way, I'm reading the Torah. I'm asking you about these mishpatim. I'm asking you, yes, Cantor? Yes.
If the ox did it the first time, the ox should be stoned and dead. It shouldn't have an opportunity to do it the second time.
There's a second ox.
That's not the same ox.
It can't be the same ox. The first ox is dead. Exactly. This is the second ox. I'm just reading the Torah. I didn't write this stuff. It's literally from the text. It's in Exodus. Yeah, bring it up with the. Yeah. So, yeah, not with me. So, right. So, right, again, this was, by the way, the most overwhelming yeses of everyone, by the way. Up until now, everyone's been like, nah, don't know, it's a little, but you're really with this. Okay, if the ox scores a second time, to be clear, or a different ox, Cantor Muchnick, you're saying it's okay to have the owner killed. Yes? Well, yeah, I'm getting yeses, by the way. I just want to make sure that we're hearing this. So this is okay. How about this one? I only have like one or two more. When a man opens a pit or digs a pit and does not cover it, that person must pay restitution if someone falls into the pit. Yes? Okay, that's a good one. We're all in agreement with that. I agree with that one too. All right, good. Okay. Are you okay with that one? Great. It makes me nervous. All right, how about this one? Now we're switching to another kind of mishpat. Now we get to the ones that are a little meatier and a little bit deeper for us to sort of figure out. You must not carry false rumors. How about that one? Ah, yes. How many people have ever carried a false rumor? Okay, so interesting. And yet it says so right here in the Torah text. It says you shall not join hands with. It doesn't say it actually. It says you shall not carry false rumors. Period. So God is saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, this is why it's not. By the way, this is not in the category of I told you so. It's in the category of let's discuss it, because what's a false rumor? Now I get to say I didn't spread it. You spread it. It's not false. It's true. Right? We get to have that dialogue. How about this one? When you encounter your enemy's ox wandering, you must take it back to them. Your enemy's ox, you must take it back to them. What if it's the same ox that just gored you? So, what do we think about that one? No? All right. All right. Here's the last one in this section that we'll talk about for right now, and it's maybe the most famous of them all. It says, you shall not boil a calf in its mother's milk. And thus you have the reason why we cannot eat a cheeseburger. That's the reason. It comes from this week's Torah portion. You shall not boil a calf in its mother's milk. And thus is born, and it's discussable, right? This is part of the mishpat. So here's what I have for you to think about on this Shabbat. I read this great midrash, this great idea that there's a reason why the Ten Commandments were not given to Moses like this. They were given to Moses on 2 tablets. There's a reason for that, right? Great commentary. We know it. It says 2 tablets. We also know from the movies. It's 2 tablets, right? So it's 2 tablets. But why 2 tablets? And why go out of our way? And so it's believed to say that that one set of laws are like the chukim, the ones that you are just told you have to do, and the others are maybe the ones that are discussable. And so when our commandments fit together, by the way, we have this blend of the things that we are just told we're not allowed to do because I said so, says God, and the things that we can discuss. And that's how we make laws together. And that's how we make community together. And that's how, when an ox gets loose, we probably don't kill the owner. We probably have a conversation about it. Or we have a court system. Or we have a dialogue. And that is born from this week's Torah portion, because when we talk about a Kehillah Kadoshah, a holy community, and we do all kinds of special great things together, I think, believe it or not, what seems like a very picky Torah portion helps us make ourselves holy, because it allows us to make these laws and to understand that they're discussable, and that's what makes our community stronger. So I wish all of you a wonderful Shabbat, where we are deciding to follow chukim or mishpatim, and definitely steer clear of any ox. Shabbat shalom. We think of those in our community who are in need of healing, a physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. We think of Annie Rosenfield, Abigail Menjivar, Aria Benjamin Kenny, Asher Ben Karen Fay, Alex Kammer, Barbara Newmark, Bonnie Kleinman, Brian Church, Carol Porowich, Chava Leah Bat Esther, Cheryl Cutler, Daniel Bernstein, Diane Brownick, David Field, Dr. Jesse Gockman, Elliot Porowich, Evelyn Greenfield, Gary Baker, Gary Bandel, Gary Kane, Howard Kleinberg, Howard Rosenbluth, Ira Kafka, Itza Chana Bella Batarifka, Janet Cohen, Janet Fortier, Jerry Israel, Joan Seidman, Larry Nagel, Lydia Nahum, Lillian Bushell, Lillian Rosenblatt, Linda Greenblatt Neuwirth, Maria Allen, Mark Davis, Naomi Kirstein, Peter Davidson, Rachel Bat Shoshana, Rena Fields, Richard Rosenbluth, Richard Shankman, Diane Spiro, Robert Kay, Robin Nagel, Shayna Call, Shirley Kafka, Sloan Kasten, Tova Bat Sarah Ariel Lev, Zahava Golda, Bat Nechama. To those names, we had any name that you'd like to add at this time.
Mark Reckler.
Mishaberach 253. We're going to invite Susie up to join us for some announcements. Susie Glad is our ritual chair here at CBI, and she has not a ton of announcements for you. Not a ton. Just a nice few of announcements on behalf of the congregation.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom to everyone, our congregation, and all our guests. Welcome to Congregation B'nai Israel. Thank you, Rabbi Keller and Cantor Mushnick, for our meaningful, spiritual, and beautiful Erev Shabbat service. Welcome to the Hill family, and Mazel Tov to Louis on his becoming Bar Mitzvah tomorrow on Shabbat services. Please join our clergy at Torah learning service in the chapel tomorrow morning at 8:30. It's an interactive simulating discussion and study of our weekly parsha and how it reflects and relates to our lives in the 21st century. These next few weeks are chock full of so many events. Be sure not to miss anything. The next Nagel Film Festival is this Wednesday night. Snacks and popcorn and beverages are provided to enhance your viewing enjoyment. Next weekend, we have the great honor to host the acclaimed musician and composer Dan Nichols at Friday night service, Saturday campfire, and on the annual Dubov Memorial Concert on Sunday. Tickets are still on sale for the concert. You can go online and purchase your tickets. This is a don't miss weekend event. Another exciting event is the upcoming Purim Spiel, Greece, the Megillah, directed by our wonderfully talented Cantor Muchnick, to be presented on Erev Purim, Monday, March 6th. Rabbi Kahn's Women's Wellness Caucus and her last two classes, history, will take place this coming month. Rabbi Emeritus Rabbi Silvers will be hosting 3 lunch and learn events, all next month. Adult education is in full swing. And in order to appreciate our Cantor further, in April, Cantor will be presenting a program, A Taste of Broadway Musical Hits, accompanied by a professional singing group. Details will follow. We have such a variety of events and activities to fulfill everyone's desire, including Mahjong Mania, Learn and Play, Book Club, Business Networking, Bereavement Support, Brotherhood, and Sisterhood. For all the details, please go to cbiboca.org. On another note, Help Recovery Aid offered by B'nai B'rith International, a disaster emergency fund relief and recovery effort for the 2 earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Please go to the B'nai B'rith website and donate to this urgent need. After services, please join us in the Oneg room for Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. We are going to begin to conclude our service with Aleinu. Aleinu can be found on page 282, and together we stand.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגאור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו חבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We transition now our thoughts to Kaddish Yotom, to Mourner's Kaddish. We think in the period of Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period of Brooke Fernandez. Irving Goldfarb, and Natalie Siegel. And our yortzites that occur for us this week: Nathan Ackerman, Sylvia Gertrude Applebaum, Solomon Barr, Arthur Kahn, Martha Edelman, Barry Garfield, Louis Gershon, Robert Hershkowitz, Sheldon Kaplan, Abner M. Kalowitz, Gertrude Kleeman, Edward A. Cornmell, Fanny Krimsky, Edith Lane, Belle Ogaz, Saul Plotnick, Irving Polarstock, Sarah Ryder, Teresa Schwartz, Jean Sayre, Lottie Sider, Stanley Spielvogel, Arthur Tools, Sherry Wagner, Mort Weiner. To those names, we had any name that you would like to add at this time. Kadishato Moners Kaddish 294. Yitgadal v'ikadash shmei Rabbah, be'almad yivrach riutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'mei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. Please be seated. If you consider yourself a kid, join us so we can do motzi. So come on up if you're a kid. If you consider yourself in the kid realm or a kid at heart, join us up here to do motzi. Come on, come up. Just have to stand here. You don't have to do anything. He's going to do everything. All you have to do is eat. Yeah. So the whole thing's for you now. It's just you up here. Yeah. It's awesome. Ready? Whoa! All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We conclude with Tfilat Haderech on page 345. 345.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be
Mishnah tells us, Al shlosha davarim ha'olam omed al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. The world is sustained by three things: the Torah, worship, and loving deeds. May we all seek to connect to all three of those, not just now, not just on Shabbat, but at all times in our lives. Shabbat shalom, everyone.